Pool Bear likes the cold ball, call safe. Yes, it's very torturous when you lose when ball doesn't go in the pocket that your opponent intends to. So, all right, so we are done with that 5 games of 8-ball, and we're switching up to 9-ball now. Now we have 7 full games of 9-ball. If it comes to that.
If it comes down to that.
Is it 7 or 8? I think it's 8, honestly. If it, but nonetheless,
I think it is 8.
But it's a race to 7, though.
Right. It is a race to 7, and I think in the finals it's a race to 11.
Correct. Pongo Hops, they started at 10:30.
Yeah, the APA, they run a tight ship. They said they were starting at 10 o'clock with the players' meeting. They ran it.
They did.
Woody got right out there, and he ran it.
He wasted no time.
He had Woody McClure. He's the APA league operator in Atlanta. Good guy, real good guy. Yeah, got out, got on the mic. Mike went out on him. He kept right on rolling. Then the mic came back. But he's a good dude. Well, it looks like Kerry has got a pretty easy lie here. I think the only thing he needs to really worry about doing, in my opinion, is going from the 6 to the 7.
Yeah, that looks a little cumbersome there.
It's the only real hard shot that he's going to be faced with here.
Unless he gets pretty straight on the 5. Ooh, man, these tables. That's scary just watching it.
Well, you said that the pockets were forgiving and the tables weren't forgiving, and I just have seen 3 or 4 of them where I went, oh, he's going to sit down on that one, and they took a slide right in.
Well, I think it has to do with the speed of the ball.
Oh, well, yeah, pocket speed always plays part, no matter what the shot is or how new the cloth is.
Absolutely.
Sure. But yeah, that's. But sometimes what happens is guys don't realize this is that they slow their stroke down when they get on this cloth. And when I was playing a lot of professional pool, I played on new cloth all the time. I developed a shorter stroke that let me accelerate through the ball, and I had everything was down to a 1-inch stroke, where everybody else was trying to slow their stroke down, and they'd go to spin that ball in, and they'd try to do it with a slow stroke, and it would just the ball would literally come off at a different angle off their tip because they were slowing down going through the ball, and they'd hit balls into the rail like that, and they'd slide in every now and then.
Right.
But all it did was scare them because they were like, oh, why am I missing that ball?
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so, they were missing, so they had every right to be scared. So here's your 6 to the 7 that I said was going to be the tough shot of the rack.
I hope he's not shooting in the side pocket.
No, he's going to go downtown
I hope so.
with a lot of follow, try and get down there and not get straight in on the 7. Just a nice follow stroke, soft. A little too soft in my opinion. Okay.
One thing I've noticed about shooting on brand new cloths is that you have to develop a kill stroke. As you had mentioned, and sometimes that can backfire because skids can happen. A
lot of times, you have no idea how many times I shot a ball, and I was killing it, and because the object ball contact point with the cue had residual chalk from my tip when I shot the ball, or when I broke the balls, I'd hit dead square and I'd leave that blue moon, boom, right on it. And I got to the point where I was a fanatic because I knew that it could actually cost me the miss because I was killing a lot of balls, that I'd have the cue ball cleaned when I knew that it was, one of the first shots was going to be a kill shot. 2 or 3 shots later, that chalks off of there.
Yes.
But, not always. I mean, sometimes when you really impact it, you grind that chalk into that spot. You need to get it off and clean it.
Sure do.
But you watch a pro, he cleans the ball in his
All
pocket
the
or on
time,
his
yeah.
hand whenever he gets a ball in hand or whether he's ready to break.
I've developed a habit to do it in between racks as well.
He hit this one a little thick, but he's still putting distance. When in doubt, give him a 9-foot shot.
That's a stroke tester right there.
This one here, I used to, love firing this ball in the upper left-hand corner. And as I got smarter, I realized that I could cut this ball to the right-hand corner
Come around
with high
naturally.
left and just roll it in. And if I miss it thin, let it flop to the bottom rail and take the cue ball 2 rails past the side pocket onto the right-hand side table here where you'd be shooting the 8 in the same pocket where the 9 is. This here is the, all or nothing shot there.
Yeah.
The other one you
There's
had.
no two-way shots.
Yeah. The other one you could just get up and roll it in all day long. That one there you had to power it. Very confident stroke on there by Robert.
There's the
Missed
danger.
it like a pro. He's taking them all the way downtown too.
Scratched like a pro as well, but not that.
Not this time.
Not that time.
Well, do you play the 9?
I do.
Karam?
I do. All day long.
Yeah.
You
For
know.
built-in safety.
Absolutely.
You can bank his ball back towards the second diamond on the nameplate. He's looking at it now, and I think you can float Whitey over there with pretty good certainty that you're going to make the 9. Just you can even feel that this is probably a 95%er. You could shoot this and make it 19 times out of 20 if
sure.
you were really solid, serious about making the 9 ball. So you could concentrate on doing this. Just worry about the 9 ball instead of the 8 ball. So what tours are you playing on nowadays, sir?
Well, right now I'm actually concentrating on just working, honestly. But I'm playing all the time. But just seeing my son as much as possible since I have been traveling quite a bit this year for pool.
I think I've seen you a few places.
Oh, he tried. He
Okay,
tried for it.
he went for it.
Oh, he's on the rail though.
I'm looking at, we had everybody do a bio sheet for you folks. We gave them a list of questions and, standard philosophies on life and influences. Interesting influence for Kerry is God and Efren Reyes. And if you ask some people, they're the same person.
They're the one and the same.
But, okay, without being blasphemous, no, I think it's a great thing that you got somebody that wants to acknowledge God as one of his influences. And right now, I believe that Robert is going to take a 4-2 lead.
That was a very confident stroke off the rail there.
Yeah, it was. Biggest secret to shooting off the rail, you know what it is?
You choke up.
Choke up on your stick. You know why?
Forward balance.
Well, the fulcrum that you have moves closer to the table. Therefore, the tip of the stick goes down through the ball.
Sure. Lucky guess, right?
Lucky guess. You know everything, man.
I try.
All right, I got to ask you, what's your favorite tip in the world?
Oh, it's got to be KamuiTips.com. Yeah, Kamui's put out a very, very great product. They provide what players want, which is consistency. Yes, it is a little pricier than most tips out there, but it's well worth it when, I'll put it this way. I've had the same tip on my cues since last August of 2011.
I've had the same tips on my cues for 11 years, 12 years now.
How often do you play?
I haven't played in 12 years.
Well, there you go. And you haven't missed a ball either.
I have not missed a ball.
12 years.
Well, no, I got to say, I did play play several months ago. Went with a friend down to a local pool tournament and played a couple of sets, you know.
How did it feel?
It felt funny. You know, my adrenaline was pumping the first round, and then I started to settle in and won a bunch of matches, and then eventually got beat. You know, but it felt good.
Yeah, yeah.
Felt good. A little handicap event.
You know, it's weird how after a long layoff, you come back, even though you've been a part of the game, you know, instrumentally, when you get to shoot, the balls look funny, right?
You know, it wasn't that they look funny to me. What was happening with me is I forgot. And I didn't forget the stroke. I just didn't know what stroke I was going to produce. You know, because I used a lot of in-between strokes. And the little nuances is that if I could just, you know, it wasn't all center ball. It was a hair above center, or, you know, a scotch of this and a little bit of that. And I knew that it was the difference between hitting a diamond and a quarter and a diamond and an eighth.
Right.
And that was the difference in running out. And I would do that, and it wouldn't happen. And I'd go, now that's hard. This out's going to be a tougher one. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of where my game is right now, I guess, if I want to say that I have a position in my game, is I don't know what my arm produces.
I understand that.
You know, but, you know, I you know, got fortunate and run a bunch of racks that night, but I also did not run a bunch of racks. It was kind of funny to not get out and know that, and it was, you know, little stuff where you shoot 9 foot and you're supposed to have a hair above center English on the cue ball by the time it contacts the object ball, and maybe it's center. Or maybe it's all out follow, because I'm just not used to what was being, you know, produced by my stroke. I had nothing to gauge it against, is the best way to say it.
Right.
So I was guessing.
Guess pool, ladies and gentlemen, by J.R. Calvert.
Take the best guess you got and give it a swing.
Hope, hit and hope.
Yeah. The nice thing is, you know, the first rack I was scared because I felt scared because of the adrenaline. But after a while, you know, and I think everybody knows what I mean, is you can find a way to settle in, and then you're really just being realistic. It's a game.
Sure.
If you let the game scare you, you will be afraid of things throughout your whole life. If you just sit back and enjoy the game and enjoy playing the game, you're going to realize that the world opens up to you at that point. And that's it sounds like a real weird philosophy, but
no,
people, don't be afraid when you're trying something. It's a game.
It's just a game.
It's just a game,
it's not
man.
life or death.
Nothing happens
Unless
terrible to you
life.
unless you are happen to bet your life, which I seriously doubt anybody does that.
I remember seeing something on a forum long time ago, talking about high stakes or whatever. I'm like, well, high stakes. How about just let's play for our lives? The loser kills himself. And I saw some of the other people says, okay, post up.
Post up your life. Yeah.
I don't trust you. That was actually kind of funny, but. All right, so we're having a little safety battle here.
Well, I think he has guide rails here, and he's probably going to make this one, whether it goes off the rail or not, and off the 7. It's just this is what he had to guard against, is the fact that the 2 was down there, so he hit the wrong shot there. It's all right. I think he's going to have to kick this ball. He could hit the deuce, but I think a Lot of that little thin hit stuff takes him right into the drink. What do you think?
Absolutely. I foresee. Excuse me. I foresee a kick save here if he sees it. There's 2 ways of playing it. One way is 2 rails from behind, off the right hand side, and the other way is just coming off on the right side of the 3 ball, left hand English, bringing that 2 ball down past the 4 and 9.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I'm getting a good chuckle here. My commentator friend here, Dan Cintron, has a broken phone, and I mean it looks like
Oh God!
it looks like you ran over it with a car, man.
Well, actually I have to say hi to Luke Sutcliffe. He gave me some good tips on getting the shuttle here from the airport. But he saw me commentating, and he just wanted to say hi, and I saw a text from him. But yeah, my phone I had dropped in Tunica. And I was going from the car to the hotel, and for some reason I had my hands full. Phone went off. I went to go see what it was, and I was juggling it in midair. Thank you, Alvin.
Well, let me give a little
Appreciate it.
insight into some of our players here. Kerry is from Lawrence, Massachusetts. He's 39 years old. He's been playing about 18 years. Basically started playing on an APA team. He also plays out one of my favorite rooms in the country, Snookers, up in Rhode Island. Plays the 8-ball and the 9-ball tournaments there. And, he has an Andy Gilbert cue. I like Andy Gilbert cues, and he uses an Obi Classic shaft, Witten case, BK2 brake cue.
Sure.
Man's got his equipment all sorted out. His goals in life: play the best I can and be the best sportsman I can, and help others play their best. That's a solid.
What more you can ask?
Yeah. Very nice. This is the man. Like I said, he's eyeing. Is that
combination?
He's eyeing up the combo right now. He's got the 4-9 in his sights. He wants to pull this game this set within one game.
It's no gimme then. Oh, I heard it like it was.
Hit it pretty solid there.
No, that was Robert that shot it. No,
that was Kerry.
Okay. You know, it helps if they wear different color shirts too.
We'll have to tell them that. Let's take a little look at the bio sheet here on Robert Hall. He's playing out of Bumpers in Huntsville, Alabama.
Forgive me, folks. I have a little scratchy throat.
Robert's been playing 25 years. He started playing when he was 18 years old. Interesting. I think both these guys started before they were 21. Kerry's giving this a good look over.
See, I'm a huge believer in checking the racks, simply because it's a shot like no other, or like any other shot. Really, it's you aim a shot. Why don't you check the rack to see what side of the rack you want to break from?
Yep. Trust me, it's nice to have them tight, but it's also nice to know where the gaps are.
Right. So you actually can dictate the outcome for the most part.
Sure, and it looks like he's pretty much got things on its way here, and at the same time, he's got a shot on the 1, made the ball. He has to cinch the 1, cinch the 2, and the 3's hanging, and then the 4's hanging. So how's he liking life? His first 4 shots should be in the bag, and he should be able to clean the table and have pretty open after that for the 5.
I agree. I think his hardest shot is this 1 ball.
He's going to have to hit this withdrawal and not hit it too hard. If he tries to follow this ball and go in between the 4-8, he can end up all right. It's just that he's introducing extra things into the game, which he just did.
Yeah.
Now he missed the ball, but I think that was trying to do that little weave that we were talking about there.
Right. Yeah, I too like cinching it back a little bit, like about 6 inches or so.
Yeah, never being out of position. You're just going away from the ball. That you would have been going away from the line to the 2 balls line to the hole.
One thing I've noticed about my game is that I used to try to play precision pool, and then I've learned that in doing so you get yourself in trouble more times than not, because you're relying on that half roll or whatnot, and we're not effort.
And what it is, there's times when you need to be precise. Remember I was telling you, like when I came back and I just didn't have that, I didn't know where my stroke was going to take me.
Right.
And what a pro does, when he looks at a rack, he sees the whole rack. He doesn't play 3 balls ahead. He sees the whole rack, and he knows where there's a precise moment. but he relaxes on the other ones because he's a pro. He thinks he can do anything. He shouldn't get worried and try and get all perfect on every ball. Over there somewhere, it really is relaxing to do at times. And that's what you want to kind of do. You want to focus in on where to be precise.
Right.
And that's about it. And for those of you just tuning in, you're watching the 2012 U.S. Amateur Championships here on Inside Pool TV. I'm J.R. Calvert with Inside Pool. Joining me here in the booth is Dan Cintron, and we're both here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, watching Robert Hall take on Kerry. And I don't want to butcher his name. I really never really have heard how it's pronounced, but I think it's McAuliffe.
That is correct. That is correct. Thank you for having me, by the way. I actually know Kerry from Massachusetts since I lived there for about 5 years, and I've seen him in a couple tournaments up there. Most recently it was in August, and then the time before that it was in February for the tournament at Legends in New Hampshire.
Well, he's spot on perfect here. The only thing he needs to do is hold his rock here, draw off the 6 into the 7. He can shoot the 7 in the lower right-hand corner or the right side pocket. He should be able to cinch it, stop it for the 8, roll up a little bit. He can do anything he wants after this.
Absolutely.
But the only thing he'll have to worry about is making sure that he doesn't go away from the 9-ball side of the table after he makes the 8.
It looks got a little too straight, but he might be able to pop it out.
Yeah, I think he can drift this ball. I think with a little bit of force, he can go back to the center of the table with a little bit of draw. See what he's looking at?
Now, if anything, he can draw back past that 8 ball, right above the side pocket for the 7 in the lower.
Yeah, he can shoot it past this 9 ball. There's tons of room there.
And you can just stop it there, have an 8 there in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay. Now, this is that tweener.
Yeah, he needs to really make sure he's on point with this cue ball. 7 goes, but might float away from you.
Yeah, this is one where if he draws it, he could actually be drawing into the side pocket. If he follows it, he has to follow all the way to the bottom rail and back to the center where he's at to shoot the 8 in the side, or he's just going to have to really hit precise locationing on the 8. Well, he's a little bit straighter than what I thought he was.
I think he's fine.
I thought he was had a little bit of an angle. What do I know? I'm just a commentator.
No. It's kind of hard to see the angles, though, from up here.
We'll have more of our cameras working here later in the show. We'll be broadcasting all weekend here, folks. So if you're here or at InsidePool.tv, check this out. You can always check out these matches later on the on-demand section on our YouTube channel, which will be youtube.com/InsidePoolMag. And if you feel up to it, subscribe to our channel there. Even subscribe at Ustream, and we'll let you know when we have more shows coming up. And if you ever do feel like it, you can go over and give us a like on Facebook.
Absolutely. Oh.
Got any people you want to help out in the industry?
Help out in the industry? Well, I think I just want to give a shout out to a lot of people that have helped me out.
There you go.
Along the way. Definitely Sandcastle Billiards out of Edison, New Jersey, who's actually the host of the AccuStats Arena. They've helped me out greatly over the years, sponsoring me.
Is that Eddie Ladalway?
Yes, yes, yes it is.
Eddie's a good man, isn't he?
Very good guy, very good guy.
Good guy.
Does everything for the game and its players. Love to thank KamuiTips.com, John Bertone. He's been a staunch advocate of bringing excellence to the game, and he sure does. Helped me out greatly. He sponsored me to go down to the U.S. Open this year. He also helped out for my accommodations to come down here as well.
Excellent,
yeah.
Excellent.
That along with Active Wellness Care Center, Active Care Wellness Center. Sorry.
No, what do they do?
They are chiropractors and masseurs. Acupuncture as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
Actually, right after work, I stopped by there to get adjusted before I took my flight out. So I can be nice and relaxed for the flight. We also have to thank the APA for hosting such a magnificent event here at Strokers in Palm Harbor.
Glad you mentioned them. They're aces. I think the A stands for aces. I'm pretty sure there should be 3 of them. They're all. I mean, everybody at the APA is such nice people. They really are. And they create this is a fantastic event. As a businessman, I can't even believe the amount of money that they're putting in to put on this event. And it's just to put in to the sport like this, it should never go unnoticed.
Oh, they definitely need to be recognized.
And I've already guaranteed that the winners of this event are on the cover of Inside Pool Magazine.
That's fantastic.
So December issue, not going to be Shane Van Boning. Most people would think the U.S. Open winner is going to get it, but no, it's going to be the U.S. Amateur champions.
They deserve some credit.
Yeah, they do. The APA is doing a great thing, and these guys are playing their hearts out for the title. You know, I watched this, and there was a series out on PBS called For the Love of the Game. And it was all about the old-time baseball players and how they were doing it for the love of the game, not all the millions.
Right.
They were playing for more money in the 30s and 20s when they were saying it was for the love of the game. They were making thousands of dollars playing baseball.
Sure.
They're making a lot more money than the average Joe at that time, and more money than the pool players are now.
Oh, forget it.
And so the love of the game, you're seeing it right here.
Right here.
These guys are playing for the love of the game. You are. You're one of the players in this event.
I am. For the love of the game is right, because only the winner comes out with a shot at the U.S. Open title next year. Everyone else, they do get acknowledged, but there are no prizes for second and subsequent.
Get a heck of a nice trophy. We're behind the partition here with all the sports marketing that goes along with this championship, and they've got some of the trophies, some of the hardware.
That's a nice piece of hardware. I was going to say that's one serious piece of hardware.
They bring in a couple of the trophies that have all the names of past winners, and they're literally in better cases than what I've ever seen anything carried in my life. It looks like they're the crown jewels or the Stanley Cup is placed in this thing. It's just amazing.
Well, it's got to be kept in good shape. Otherwise, I'm sure it takes a lot to make one of those babies.
Well, we're all knotted up at 4 apiece. Robert Hall is giving the rack offering up to Kerry, and Kerry's doing the inspection. And I think we're going to see him, being that he's from Joe Tucker's neck of the woods, I think he kind of knows how to look at this rack.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know Joe Tucker, well, maybe I'll let you tell them who Joe Tucker is.
Joe Tucker is a great player out of Connecticut, I believe, and he wrote a book. He's also a very strong player that plays on the Joss Tour. He wrote a book called Racking Techniques or Racking Secrets.
Racking Secrets.
That's what it was. And man, that book is worth its weight in gold.
It really is. What a great book.
And it's not that big, but
it's like 40 pages tops.
Yeah.
But it was a great book.
It's a definite buy. It should be in your library if it's not already. And no, I'm not being paid off by Joe Tucker to endorse his product, but I do believe in his book, and it's amazing how a lot of players still don't know how to read the rack.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's one thing that I can guarantee you that if you play the game, I can guarantee you will get that shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be exactly the way it looks on one of those pages.
Absolutely.
And people don't take the time to learn that, and it amazes me. They still think that brute strength and luck is going to be where they bank their future in a game is. Huh? Well, good luck to them.
Yeah, good luck is right. That's the thing, though. A lot of them, they do rely on luck, and as I had mentioned before, it's such a torturous feeling to get beat by luck. Now, I really don't care. Actually, I'd rather my opponent string out the entire set on me and play phenomenally, and I will give him a big hug. Forget a handshake. I'll give him a big hug just because he played that magnificently. However, I cannot stand to lose by a ball being potted, as they say in England, in a pocket that wasn't intended to.
A friend of mine named C.J. Wiley, him and I spent time on the tour together when we were younger, and C.J. and I developed the same technique. It was a very simple idea. Never root against the player that you're playing. Never root, never hope for a miss, never do anything. Hope that they play their best game, because you see and develop balls being made. It's a positive train that you get on where you're only seeing things being made, only seeing great shots being made, and you're not getting into the negativity, so that when it's your turn, there's no time for that negative to come back up.
Absolutely.
You're constantly thinking about great play. And when you think about it, if you beat somebody in there, let's say you play Efren Reyes, and Efren Reyes plays the worst game of his life. He's getting sick, and did you beat Efren Reyes then?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. It's a kind of a hollow victory.
Yeah.
But now let's just say that Efren Reyes comes out and breaks and runs 12 on you in a race to 13, and then you beat him.
Then that's
the best. That's a set that you will tell your grandchildren about.
Absolutely.
And you'd pay anything if somebody was videotaping to get a copy of it, so that you could carry it around in your wallet and play it for people.
Yeah, you want to see something?
Yeah, when I was a young whippersnapper.
When I was your age.
But that was our mentality, and it was kind of funny because CJ had posted about it on Facebook. And he's posting on our forum over at Inside Pool Mag, but he posted this on Facebook.
He's been posting a lot lately.
Yeah,
I think he's trying to get ready to promote his DVDs that he's been working on for. I think part of it was just messed up the name. For the $1 Million Story with Earl Strickland, winning 10 racks in a row.
I know that he's our Moscone team captain.
And that's a very prestigious title there. Even though will he be playing as well or no?
No, I believe he's going to be a non-playing captain, and I think that's what they've done with the captains.
As of recent,
is they pretty much made it a non-playing position, and I agree with that.
Nick Varner was one for a while. Who was it last year?
I thought it was Johnny. Or maybe I'm wrong. No, it might have been Charlie last year.
I think you're right.
Charlie Williams, and I think he was a non-playing captain.
But you know what? Getting back to the whole negative vibes, always thinking positive. A lot of players they give me a second look after we've shaken hands right before the set starts, and my response to their good luck is shoot well on my part. And they're like, "What did you say?" I'm like, "I said shoot well." And they just don't understand that I really do want them to shoot well. I do not want them to beat me by luck. And like I said, some of them they're just still flabbergasted by the whole concept of the goodwill being brought upon them, or wished upon them, I should say.
One of the funny things that I always knew is I was always going to be beat by luck. I was going to be beat by skill, so why worry about it? I mean, I could never be the best player every time I played, so it was going to happen. So when it happened, I didn't worry about it or care. But more importantly, is when it did happen, chances are that that guy was having some type of good day. And I always took advantage of it to congratulate him because he just had something good happen to him. I didn't want to sully it. I looked at it as a chance to make a friend. So
it's all about building relationships.
So I always looked at when I lost as being that perfect time to make a new friend. You know, and it worked. I had a lot of friends on tour.
I was going to say, you must have a lot of friends.
Unfortunately. You knew the punchline was coming, right?
If it weren't for bad luck, you'd have no friends at all.
There we go. If I had to practice harder, I wouldn't have had any friends.
Oh, boy.
Well,
that's not true. You're a very likable guy in the industry. You work hard for all the players, and you definitely deserve everything that you've gotten.
Thank you. But I just try and have fun and hang out and make sure that everybody has enjoys the game. And
you call this work?
Yeah. So funny is, did you ever hear who hasn't heard of Words with Friends, right?
Oh, depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, I used to call it Words with Ex-Friends because if you beat them playing Words with Friends, they suddenly stop playing with you.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, you have no more friends. My girlfriend Sally, I like to tease her about that because she has less and less friends.
Just another quick point of order. If matches are completed on one of the tables, we cannot have you practicing and hitting balls on an open table.
Well, he's got a little bit of a tester shot here.
Plus, we'll be calling matches.
I hit this shot with a flat ball
back up from tables
and let it run naturally 3 rails towards the 7. But he has to make sure that he doesn't scratch. He can actually scratch on this shot.
If he doesn't hit it with the like about a tip below center.
Yeah.
You have to.
I roll it with a hair of right-hand English. And when I say flat ball, what I don't want it to do is to take off on me.
Right.
I want to hit it crisper and hit more like center ball and then just roll it off the side.
Right.
And the reason I say that is I'm actually looking to slow this ball down. It is going to take off on us.
Oh, sure. Once he hits that rail.
We're back here, folks. Got all kinds of folks stepping into our large office here. FedEx delivery guys and UPS guys.
All over the place. Coming together here at Strokers in Palm Harbor.
Gotta like Dan Cintron's page on Facebook. He's got an athlete's page.
He's got an athlete's page?
Sure do.
That's right, folks. Go check him out. Well, give him a like on Facebook.
Dan Cintron.
Well, I believe, Kerry, this is the shot Kerry has been waiting for.
That's CINTRON. A little shameless plug for myself.
Hey, it all is good.
He's definitely got enough angle off the rail to come straight back and not have to worry about being on the rail for the 8-ball.
I usually pull this one back. I don't try and overstroke it. Back 2 feet, side pocket. And I concentrate on a smooth delivery without moving anything. And I want to stay down and watch the cue ball come at me.
A shot like this, I'd actually like to come a little closer to the cue ball so you can maximize the, it's a good, nice stroke.
Nice stroke.
Maximize the, or I should say minimize the potential of error. Further away you have your bridge hand, more prone you are to veer off from your target.
Yeah, I always had a really good, strong draw stroke, follow stroke from playing three cushion.
Oh, I love that game.
I love that game.
I wish I had a billiards table around to shoot on.
Yeah, I love three cushion. I haven't played it in 12 years either, but maybe a little bit longer, almost 20 years now, where I've played it at all. I believe we're going to be trying to stream the National Three Cushion Championship at the Super Billiards Expo this year.
Oh.
And that is an uncharacteristic miss. Extremely uncharacteristic.
I think
He's beating himself up. And notice, folks, I did not predict that he was going to make that, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Let Robert focus in on making this shot. You play that back, and you look how uncomfortable he looked before the shot. And I let the idea keep going, but what it was is that he was not comfortable at the shot, and I think he lined up incorrectly then. Correct. Onto the cue ball. And it came, the cue ball, he thought he was at one point on the cue ball, and he wasn't. He looked uncomfortable to me.
I'm a strong believer in having proper fundamentals and having that routine, that same, pre-shot routine every time before you get down, and that will assure you that, you're on point. And then at that point, all you have to do is just pull the trigger. But a lot of people, they have trouble, getting comfortable and in their stance.
And I used to do this drill, and I was telling Alvin about it when we were at the Open, and it's a series of drills, and my practice was always to practice the worst thing I knew how to do. I didn't rehearse. I didn't need to rehearse running out. If I was banking poorly, I'd practice banks 8 hours.
Make your
so you might watch my game during practice and not think I could make a ball.
Right.
And I've had many guys come up and think, well, I can take him. And then I put an 8-pack on him, and they're going, what?
Now what?
Because I was only playing my hard shots. But one of the things that I used to do was religiously practice delivery and pre-shot routine. And one of my drills was to only shoot with my feet. My feet were everything. I felt that if I had an ingrown toenail, I would just devastate my game. But I could be missing a finger and it wouldn't bother me whatsoever. And I used to...
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen JR shoot with his feet, this is an amazing story right now.
What you do is it's almost like jousting. You hold the stick in your regular position. Now, you're not G.I. Joe where your arms go like this. They come across you. Knowing that determines the angle that your body will be going towards the shot. And your feet control your body. So what you would do is almost joust and make balls by moving forward with your feet. And that let me line up into the shot correctly. I knew my body's position
based on your feet,
on my footwork. Now the other thing that I used to do is I would take and I would use that jousting position, but now I'd get to stroke the ball. But by the time
we're going to begin calling the noon round. If you do not hear your matches,
I think I'll continue this story after this, but basically you don't get to look. As soon as your bridge hand hits the table, you look down at your joint and you stroke the shot one time and shoot. That's it. You had to have the whole shot visualized. Already what it was going to feel like, everything. There was no guesswork. If your footwork was off, and if you had guessed wrong on muscle memory, you knew where you were at. And that's why I said I knew where my calibrations were, and I played a lot on muscle memory. So I knew what everything felt like, and I knew where my body was going to be. I didn't need to see. And it's very similar. They do this a lot with baseball players. Baseball player gets to see the first 10 feet of a pitch. He should see nothing else after that. He doesn't need it, and there's a little screen that'll come down, and I'll have to hit the ball. And that's the same way that I would work out. Those two drills will change your game.
Very interesting way of going about it.
Match 21.
One is very physical. It's working with your feet and aligning your body. And the other one is mental, and how well you've used all the physical and you're controlling it with your mind.
Well, like you said, it's very much muscle memory.
Jerry Yang, table 13.
In order to develop that, you need to be playing.
And match 24, Walter Bentley Jr.
every day,
Rio
day in,
Yokawa,
day out.
table 2.
But not just playing. You have to play with a purpose. You have to practice with a purpose. And like you said, I do something similar. I take my weaknesses, work on my weaknesses, and try to practice and making my strengths. Otherwise, like they say, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And how true is that?
That's the weak link theory practice method.
Okay, folks, just a quick
like I said,
I didn't make it up.
well, that's what I said. I would constantly be doing that. I mean, it was about what I thought I hadn't practiced in a while, or what I thought was my weakest area. And it might come from my last tournament. It might come from who I played last night. It might have came because when I eventually got done practicing yesterday, I noticed that in my mind I rehearsed it backwards and found out that I missed 3 cut shots that were, say, backwards cuts.
Oh,
I might practice backward cuts the next day for an hour.
Pool, well, as far as your practice routine is concerned, is you have to tailor it. It's kind of like finding a job. You have to tailor your resume towards. Oh, this guy's pretty stuck right here.
he's
jumping.
Yeah, Kerry's going to go to the jump cue here now. He's down 5-4, and he's supposed to be up 5-4.
That 6 is awfully close to that 5. Unless he lands right on top of that 5, I don't.
Let's see what he's going to come up with here. I think he can do this, and it's whether he keeps the cue on the table afterwards.
Yeah.
And he cut the 6.
That's awful close. I mean, when that object ball is right in front of that your target ball, it's really difficult to hold that. But yeah, your game needs to be tailored. It can't be a generic thing, which is actually one of the things that one of my other sponsors, my cue sponsor, Steve Dunkel from Dunkel Custom Cues, he tailors the cue to you rather than just make you a cue. He'll take your height measurements, your arm span, your stance, and that's the way it should be. Rather than just make cues and see. There's 2 types of cue makers, or cue builders, I should say. I know they don't like to be called cue makers. 2 types of cue builders. One is a performance type of cue builder, and the other one is an artist.
Right.
And do you remember Paul Finelli?
That name sounds familiar, but
he pretty much mastered the butterfly splice.
Okay.
And that's no easy feat. But he was an artist. He'd make a cue, and he would never make a cue for the player.
Okay.
Looks like Robert is up 6-4 now.
6-4.
Race to 7. He's on the hill.
Now, how big is that 9 ball?
Oh boy.
Don't even get him started on it, right?
Hey, yeah. That would put him up 5-4.
Well, right now it'd probably be 5-5.
Probably, yeah.
It could be 5-5. There's argument to say that.
But at that juncture, he would have been up 5-4.
5-4, right?
Rather than now 6-4 down. But Steve Dunkel, he's a great guy. He takes a lot of notes. He really cares about making you a cue, and he actually just got promoted at his job, and he's retiring very, very soon to build cues full time. And that's
3 balls on the break. He's straight in on the first ball, and all he has to do is stop it to be in perfect position on the rest of the rack. Well, if you're Kerry right now, you're obviously and like I said, even in this situation here, you can't root against your opponent.
No.
You have to root only for yourself, that if it comes up that you're going to get to the table, you will just play well.
Absolutely.
Don't predict anything from your other guy here.
I just got done saying that to my own son, my 6-year-old son, where we were watching a football game, and I think the team, one of the teams that is a rival of the team that we like. I'm not going to mention anything, but he's like, "Daddy, is that the such and such team?" I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "Boo!" I'm like, "No. You have to root for yourself, not boo the other guy."
Right.
And I'm trying to teach that to my son, and it's one of those things where I personally don't like it when it's done to me. You know, and
there's a lot of haters.
lots of haters, and they've got to stop drinking that haterade. I tell you. Wow, talk about uncharacteristic.
And here's what you do get if you're rooting against a guy. This is what you get when you want him to miss. He'll miss all right, and he'll give you this shot here to get back in the game.
You know what I always say? It's not how you make him; it's how you miss him.
Well, honestly, I think at this point here, he's going to have to play safe. He may even decide to play across the 4 and go underneath the 8, soft. But I doubt he's going to go for anything there. What do you see?
I would personally like to kick at this ball since it's very close to the top rail.
Okay.
And hold that cue ball up there, kicking the 4 ball to the long rail and underneath the 96.
Do you use a lot of left-hand spin?
A lot of left-hand spin to kill the.
He played my shot.
There you go.
And boy, I'm telling you, that can go off in your hand right there. That's a grenade that you don't want to pull the pin on.
No. But yeah, with the kick shot, I mean, even though he executed it, it can really, be misexecuted. It's very touchy, especially these fast rails, fast off that they have.
Yeah, I think he played a great shot there. That was a
excellent
thread of the needle. He beats his side pocket. Look at this. He's going to tie everything up.
My goodness. And I call that a fortuitous roll.
It was not unlucky. Well, he can do the exact opposite. Bank the 4 behind the 8 and let the cue lay on the bottom rail and see if he can kick this ball again.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else that I would put any merit in, and that's a fairly safe shot.
Can we call Efren on a phone a friend?
He hit it too thick.
Yeah.
Well, now he's in trouble. He's in trouble.
If he can pass that 8 ball after cutting the 4,
I think he's going to play safe.
You think so?
I think he needs to consider playing safe because there's nothing really guaranteed here unless he can miss the 8, thread the needle, go to the bottom rail and stiffen it up with. Yeah, he's probably
side
going to be
pocket
using
or the corner.
Yeah. See if he can stiffen it up.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. This isn't going to be good.
No, here comes another safe.
Yeah. He's right on the 50 here. Now he has to consider thinning the 6 into the 9 and letting the cue ball go 2 rails down behind the 8. See how he's going to bank the 9 or carry him off the 9 down towards us. Hit a little bit of left-hand English to slow the cue ball down, but he can get every little power he gets to the 6 now gets it further down table where it's less of a makeable ball. And he can lock him on this 8 fairly well. Look at this shot, a little hard. You stick him on the 9? Or do you go for the cut? Or do you thin the 6?
Right now I'm feeling like that 6 is far enough away from the rail that it is definitely a cuttable shot. You can come around 2 rails around the 9, actually 4 rails around the 9, so you can get it around the middle of the table for the 8 ball. That's one possibility. You can cross the 6, send that 6 ball right back up to the Brunswick. Are we playing on Brunswicks?
I believe these are Brunswicks.
Okay. It's funny how that's a common phrase. Shoot it up to the Brunswick. And for the players out there in internet land that do not know what the Brunswick is the plate that's on the headrail that signifies the maker of the table. Diamond tables don't have that. They have it on the side. A lot of tables actually don't have that. It's an old tradition that the table manufacturers have gotten away from.
They have. It's a feature that is still there on some makers, but not always there on others. And this is what I thought he was going to do. He was just going to split the balls, take a shot at getting behind the 9, not lose his head. That was a smart shot because everything else was too risky. There was a lot of uncertainty. Here he had certainty that he could do the shot
balls, yes.
and possibly even get the cue behind the 9. Okay.
That's a strong shot right there.
No.
Not so much. You
Nope.
should go rail first if you can't see it.
Well,
Altogether.
the problem here is that where do you hit? Right past the side pocket, and you got a chance to make it, and you can get position also.
Yes. But mind you, these are sliding, so you actually have to predict how much further up you need to hit.
Well, the thing that I always did this shot with was rolling English. In other words, I don't want end over end backwards or forward, high Q, low Q, any of that. That way. Now see how he's measuring it?
He's using a mirror system there.
But he's doing it from the wrong place. Most people try and measure from the tip of the rail. That's not where the center of the ball turns around. It's a half a ball off the rail.
Correct.
So he's supposed to take the distance of the imaginary cue ball to a point that's a half a ball's width off the rail. Now see, he's measuring from the tip of the rail. He's off by a half ball. And if he puts high Q on it, then he's really in trouble because now the ball will tend to level back to the rail, and he's going to be hitting the ball in the wrong place.
I think
Match 25, Paul Andolini, Brant Trahan, table 11. Paul Andolini, Brant Trahan, table 11.
Very good shot.
He knocked it in.
I think by applying speed, he overcame that the point of contact on the rail.
Well, he had a little bit of the counter reaction there, is that he measured it in the wrong place and then he put high Q on the ball.
Right.
And it took care of itself with speed. You start to shoot that shot a bunch of times at different speeds with high Q.
You get different reactions.
You're going to get different reactions. It's not always going to be the right spot. And the set continues, folks.
6-5.
6-5.
Well, breaking down 6-5. 9 ball's a funny game, but you still got to be very fortunate and feeling good about breaking at this point in time.
Anytime that you can get to the table, you should feel good.
Absolutely.
You feel like, I got a shot to win. It's hard to win without having a turn at the table.
I've realized many, many years ago that pool, the sport of billiards, is the only sport in the entire world that you do not have to participate to lose. I witnessed Jose Perica. This is many years ago. This is actually back in 2000.
Match 26, Jorge Del Llore, Thomas Perino, table 1. Jorge Del Llore, Thomas Perino, table 1.
This is back in 2000. I went up to Country Club USA in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, and saw Jose Perica play. I don't even know who the guy is, but he playing for $1,000, raced to 9. Perica won the toss, and Jose ran 9 and out from the toss. And the guy said, here's your money. I'd love to play you again, but I'm gonna need some weight. Jose says, I can't give you weight. And the opponent says, well, you just ran 9 racks in a row on me. Yeah, but I don't know how you play.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He's got every argument to not give him any weight because he really doesn't know how he plays. But for someone who just lost $1,000, like, how can you not give me weight? Type of thing. But yeah, you do not have to participate to lose in this game, unless it's an alternate break format.
Right.
I like the winner breaks, format myself. But that's just me. Got a little nice nudge there.
I think he's in the perfect position here to follow forward, come off the rail, and be holding the line to go to get in behind the 5. Shot on the 5 in the lower right-hand corner, if that's what he wants, not to shoot it past the 9.
A little too far.
Well, he can shoot the 5 past the 9. So
No, I mean, as far as...
yeah, it would have been nice to not go that far and then shoot the 5 in the other corner. That way he could follow down to the bottom rail or get any angle he wanted on the 5. And he was still going towards the 7.
Now he's stuck on shooting the 5 in the corner past the 9.
Right. Not that this is tough.
No.
It's just that
You're veered off from your... as the GPS would say, rerouting.
recalculating distance to destination.
I actually have mine on mute, simply because the voice gets annoying after a while.
Alvin had one on the way over here. Alvin has it, and it kept telling him to get to the right lane, turn right, and continue straight forward. While we're driving down the highway, finally I said, "Is that thing ever going to tell us just to go straight and then shut up?"
That's funny.
Get to the right lane, turn right, and proceed forward. Please go straight. It said it every 8th mile. I was going crazy.
Oh my goodness. You know, you could actually set the different voices on there and download different voices. I was in the car, I forget, it was not this past Expo. The Expo, look at this.
Oh, he tried that funky little stroke.
Why?
He, instead of just cinching it, he tried to pull back. He's
There's
just supposed to cinch it and cut the
ball's
9 ball
right
in.
there, in the pocket. It's in the pocket.
That was a mental error. He tried to do too much. He should just cinch the 7, rolled the 9 in. It's a makeable ball.
I've always been a staunch advocate about just make the shot. Position means nothing if you don't make the ball. So just, sacrifice position and just make the ball and just go for the harder shot afterwards.
Cinch the ball.
Especially when the 9's right there in the pocket, 6 inches from the hole.
Yeah, I would have cinched that ball in a heartbeat.
Just make it.
I used to explain to people a little simple idea. I'd give them a lesson. I'd say, okay, what if I was to tell you that all you had to do was roll the cue ball over top of the spot, exactly over top of the spot, and I'd give you a free lesson. Would you be able to do it? I'd say, sure. So then keep that in mind, because anytime you have a position that's hard in your life and all you have to do is make the ball, and then you'll have a shot to make the other ball, just imagine that spot as the second ball.
Sure.
And just roll right over it. And that's, if he had put a marker right on, a half ball out from that 9 where the ghost ball was, and you realize that's all he needed to do. Oh, look at this. He's going to
luck factor
this
coming
9.
in. Here's the luck factor coming in.
Nope.
Here's the luck factor coming in. This is what I'm talking about. I saw it as soon as it crossed that side pocket. I knew what was going to happen.
Yep.
And congratulations. Thank you for participating.
And you fight all that set, and it could have been hill.
It could have been hill.
But that's the set. Our winner, Robert Hall, with he was given a little charity there. He had Kerry missed a 9 ball. That put him up 5-4, and then he actually re-gifted the 7 ball back, but slopped it in. So here we go, our first winner of the first set in the 2012 U.S. Amateur Championship, Robert Hall over Kerry McAuliffe, 7 games to 5. I'm J.R. Calvert with Inside Pool. On behalf of the APA and the Amateur Championship, I'd like to thank Dan Cintron for sitting in with me. Thank all you folks for tuning in. We'll be coming back at you here very shortly. Dan, you're going to come back and join us here in a little bit?
Well, I have a 1:30 match, but definitely I will. I'd love to have an opportunity to commentate again.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you,
Thank
folks. Thank you, Dan.
My
Take
pleasure.
care.
Thank you.